Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be presenting a topic under the contemporary world. And in our previous topic, we attempt to define contemporary world. And one area to define it is based on the time frame, the time periods between the narrow and the broader time frames. However, in this presentation, I'd like to present the broader definition. Thus, it includes also the narrower definition of the contemporary world when it comes to um, the time frames. Now, I selected 18 of the very important events that I think it will be very important, not just today, but it will be very important in the future. So let's go. Now, the first one is in 1950. This is the Korean War. This is the start of the Korean War that divided the the you know the nation of Korea between the North and the South Korea. Um, Take note that the North Korean People's Army crosses the 38th parallel into South Korea. This elicits an immediate response from U.S. President Truman and the start of the Korean War. Actually, this war is a proxy war between United States and People's Republic of China. This lasted for 3 years, and there was a ceasefire. And they said this is the longest war because it did not end well. What happened was just the ceasefire. The ceasefire continues from that moment up to now. So take note of that one. 1950 Korean War started. During this time, there is only one country, Korea, but after the war, after the ceasefire, the two nations, the nation was divided into two. The North Korea, now it's a communist republic, and then the South Korea, a democratic one. Let's go to the next one. The 1953, the dawn of the DNA. This took place in Cambridge. Two professors, scientists from Cambridge University, in the name of James Watson and Francis Crick, they were able to discover the fundamental behavior of the double helix structure of the DNA. And I think this is the foundation of cloning. This is the foundation of genetic mapping and other discoveries related to the studies of the DNA and genes. The next one is the 1967 Six-Day War. This event was very important. Even it took place only somewhere in the Middle East, but very remarkable because Israel continued fought with four nations. We have Syria, Jordan, Iraq, and of course Egypt. But in 6 days, the Israelites defeated these four countries. And the event that took place during that time echoed from the 1967 up to now, 2003. Fast forward, we have the attack of the Hamas group to Israelites and to Israel, and then Israel retaliated, and even the war continues up to now. So this event really is a turning point of what will happen in the Middle East now and probably in the future. Next is the assassination of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In 1968, this took place on in April 4 of 1968, Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and this creates an awakening, especially for the people that tries to promote the civil rights, because as an icon, people respected so much, but his death really awakened the civil rights movement. And no wonder we have Barack Obama, the first Black American United States president. I think without Martin Luther King's death, we cannot have this kind of acceptance of, and the diminishing discrimination when it comes to race and ethnicity, thanks to the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Next is the moon landing in 1969, July 20, with the two astronauts, Armstrong, Aldrin. Of course, Colin is in the orbits, but the landing on the moon in 1969 is very, very important because this ushers us to the new space age, that really people really can go beyond the planet Earth. So these three astronauts were, achieved the unachievable prior to the 20th century. Next is 1977, the rise of PC. Before the personal computers is used only by those people who are, have the capital, has so much amount of technology, but it is only for big companies. But the 1977, the rise of PC, especially the coming of the Apple II, brings a new era that everyone can own a computer. And until now, our computers are getting smaller, becoming so mobile, and that changed the world. And computing may be changing from time to time, but this time in 1977 gives an inspiration that computers can be in the hands of everyone. 1981, the AIDS Impact America. This event, the United States recognized that AIDS really is affecting a lot of people, not just some people in Africa. So the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention publishes a report about 5 gay men who had diagnosed by local physicians with a rare form of pneumonia, the first reported U.S. cases of what would later become known as HIV or AIDS. A lot of people died from AIDS. One famous individual is Freddie Mercury, the vocalist of the Queen. This one is a landmark in the history of AIDS. Another one is we have Michel Foucault. So during this time, they estimated that there are 35 million people worldwide died of AIDS, and it is considered as an epidemic. And however, there could be no cure, but there are medicines today that can really manage the effects of HIV on individuals. But I guess this is very important because this is the turning point of in medicine, that we really have to strive more when it comes to coming up with drugs related to viral infections. Another one is in 1983, the internet is born. The birth of the internet ushers to the new era of new technology of spreading information across the globe. So by coming up with the internet, people can share data, communicate, create networks which are decentralized, and the accessibility expanded around the world. But actually, it started with a research by a military, what they call the ARPANET, or the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, which is only with academics and researchers. But as time goes by now, from 1983, 40 years after, we have experienced the effects and the fruit of this discovery. And the internet speeds up our innovation, our research, our academic endeavors, and even our life. It gives us the good life in the 21st century. Next is 1986. Why I included the shuttle tragedy? Because during this time, NASA stopped sending or making rockets. And I guess the event that NASA stopped creating their own rockets, making their own rockets for outer space, and have stopped sending the space, send people for the space program, opens up the private sector for, for making, inventing, innovating rockets and, sending people to outer space. That's why 1986, although this is a sad moment for the world, that after 73 seconds, the Challenger exploded, killing 7 people, 7 good astronauts. But this event, although there is a sad background, but this event created an opportunity for private sector again, like SpaceX of Elon Musk, Virgin Galactic, and so on, to create uh, rockets that are more innovative compared to what the NASA is creating and building. 1989, the Berlin Wall falls. I guess this is very important because this time, the two Germany, the East and the West Germany is reunited after, and then this inspires people also around the world to, to fight, to unite if they have one common goals. I guess also the EDSA revolution of the Philippines in 1986 inspired the Berliners, the people of Germany, to do the same. And this one is an inspiration for all of us that the communist grip of Europe is weakening. And it is done, by the way, peacefully, not by arms. And next is 1994, Amazon.com. When Amazon.com is founded, I included this because number one, this is in line with the business world. But I guess very important because without Amazon.com, our e-commerce today may be different. So the launching of the Amazon.com by Jeff Bezos opens up a new opportunity that you can put everything online. So there is like an everything store, and this opens up the growth of business ceiling cloud services companies like Netflix and Instagram, and of course it makes Jeff Bezos the richest man on earth because of Amazon.com. But this opens up everything, new technologies in the Philippines. We have Lazada, was Zalora, and of course, this opens up new opportunities under e-commerce. The next one is 1996, the dawn of cloning, and I guess the DALI ship enters the annals of bioengineering when scientists at Scotland's Roslin Institute become the first to not only successfully clone a mammal, but also the first to do using an adult cell rather than an embryonic one. So after 277 so-called cell fusions that created 29 embryos, the team managed to turn an other cell into a nearly complete biological carbon copy of the ship from which it came. Now, why I included this? Because this could be the thing of the future. Cloning could be the thing of the future. However, we have to resolve some ethical issues really attached to it. The next one is the machine tops chess chunk. In 1997, May 11th, the Deep Blue, IBM's Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov twice and tied 3 times in a 6-game match. This proved that, a machine could make better decision than human beings, can even win and defeat a great chess champion like Garry Kasparov. And I guess this is the this is the inspiration by so many programmers to come up with a better artificial intelligence as what we have today. So congrats to Deep Blue, IBM's Deep Blue. Without this, I think we can still believe that AI are just simple applications, but with it, we are inspired and we can believe that machines really can do better than human beings. But take note, it is just a tool. The next one is the age of Google begins in 1998. by Sergey Brin and Larry Page, one of the richest company, and now Google is part of the giant company Alphabet Inc. That includes other companies like X, Waymo, and YouTube. But take note, Google holds all the information. So before, when we search for information, we go to encyclopedias, but now we have Google, as if Google is possesses the data that we cannot imagine. Almost all knowledge that we have known today are in Google. So the coming of Google into the scene, especially into the internet, is the beginning of the information era. That, hey, we can have access right in our palms of our hands once we have the gadget connected to Google. Next is the twin 2001 9/11, September 11. This event, the attack of the Twin Towers in New York, is so devastating. Attack at the US soil right after the Pearl Harbor in 1941. This one opens the world that there is no really secure place on Earth. However, these happenings unites the peace-loving nations to, to do against what they call terrorism. So this assures us that every time something that comes like this, people can unite against such terror. People really do not like terrorism. And then we have the Facebook in 2004. Of course, no, without the Facebook, I don't know how young people will live today. The Facebook as the social networking site facilitates how we relate each other today in the 21st century. Although it influences the political climate sometimes in a certain country, it influences groups of people, to do something crazy. But in totality, Facebook really did uh, a very good way to connect people around the world. So congrats to Mark Zuckerberg being the king of social networking. Now, second to the last is the iPhone in 2007. The very reason I included this is that this is the first that shows the world one of the most popular branded consumer electronic devices in history, the iPhone. This is the first time that they're showing to the world that computing is not just mainly on the disk, on the lap, but it could be on also by through the hands. The first generation phone was introduced by Jobs at the Consumer Electronics Show that year. Have gone so many versions. Accordingly, they have 18, but there are more of it coming. So, and they said it sold 1.2 billion units as of 2017, and it begins the greatest innovations of phones. And then lastly, of course, COVID-19 on 2020. Yeah, it changes how we manage diseases and even produce vaccines. And still, this disease lingers even today. So the United Nations declared a global pandemic in 2020, and this facilitates in some good ways to fasten up making vaccines for the world. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day. And I hope you have some um, ideas, uh, the contemporary world of that time from 1950s up to the present.